Hey YouTube, welcome to the video. In this video, I am going to show you how you can make money from day one when you start an Amazon FBA business. And the TLDR, the little trick on how to do it, is that you don't actually build one from scratch. Instead, you buy one that's already making money. Let's dive into this video. Hey, my name is Gregory Elfrink. I am the Director of Marketing at Empire Flippers. We are the largest marketplace in the world when it comes to the curation of online businesses that are for sale, including Amazon FBA businesses. We have sold hundreds of digital assets over the years, and if you like this video, I would love it if you just go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to our channel. That'll help us in the YouTube algorithm to get more people seeing our video. And before I dive into on why you should be buying an Amazon FBA business, make sure you stick around because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a bonus tip on how you can go and actually find FBA businesses that are making money really easily. So let's get into the meat of this video. So before we can talk about why you should buy an Amazon FBA business, we need to first discuss why starting an Amazon FBA business can be a real task. So I don't want to demotivate you if you're looking to start an Amazon FBA business. It's absolutely a great business model. But before you do, you should know a few different things going into it. One, most of these FBA businesses will not make money from day one. In fact, most FBA businesses probably won't make much, if any, money at all once you start. And when you do start, if you have a good product and you've done everything you need to do, you still probably won't be making money for the first 2, maybe even 3 or 4 months after you start the business. Now, why is that? That is because there's a lot of problems that comes with starting an Amazon FBA business. And that's true with any business, not just FBA business. But let's look at a few of these problems and we'll go into how buying solves most of these issues for you. So the first problem that you have is product research. When you are looking to sell something on Amazon, you need to go and find a good product that people want to buy. Now, maybe you have a brilliant idea that is super unique and there's no other products out there on the Amazon marketplace or really anywhere else that is selling this product. And it's a really good product. People want to buy it. But that is probably not you for most of you at least. So it pays to do good market research, finding something that people are already buying off of Amazon and making sure that the competition isn't too fierce where you can actually go and compete. So that's the first step. That takes time. Next thing you need to do is you have to go and find an actual manufacturer that can manufacture the product you want to sell. That could be very difficult or very easy depending on what you know about manufacturers and who you know in the space. You could get a manufacturer over in China, over in Vietnam, it may be back home in the USA. It could be any sorts of different places, but you need to make sure the factory can actually build the product you want. The next thing is you have to actually get the product sent to you. You have to get, test its quality, make sure it's real, make sure it looks good, it meets your standards, all that good stuff. And then finally, you need to actually find a logistics company to go and send all of this product from your factory to the Amazon warehouses. Now, all of this costs money. The tools for market research, usually it's nominal, it's not very much money. To get a quality, tested product, an individual product sent from the factory so you can test it, usually that's not that much money either. But when you actually go and order your first batch of inventory, that's where you're starting to spend some hard cash, most likely a few $1,000s at the minimum. Next, you will have to buy the actual logistics. So whether that's air freight, which is usually faster, or by sea, which is usually cheaper but slower, either way, that is going to cost you money. That whole lead time, if you do everything perfectly, is usually going to be at least over a month before you can get a product from the time of the idea to the time it's actually in Amazon's warehouse, where you can actually write the product listing and start selling that product on Amazon. So those are just the beginning parts of your problems. The second part of this is, since you are a brand new seller on Amazon, you don't have any reviews. You have no social credibility on the marketplace. No one has bought your products yet. So you're probably going to have to spend some money on Amazon PPC, that's pay-per-click, that's Amazon's in-house native advertising platform, to get people to start coming in and buying your product. Now, maybe you're a wizard at PPC, or maybe you have no idea what that abbreviation means till just now. Either way, it could be a hassle to set that up. And that brings us to the last problem when it comes to building a business from scratch on Amazon's platform, is that you are trading in what I like to call unknowns. You don't know if the market's going to like your product. You don't have any data to really back it up other than some of your product research stuff. So you're trading in a lot of unknowns, and you won't know until you have spent all that time and money to getting your product actually into Amazon's warehouse. So those are some of the things you need to think about. Now, let's contrast this with the idea of buying an Amazon FBA business, one that is already making money. As I said at the start of this video, if you buy an Amazon FBA business, you already know it's making money. That's how you make money from day one, because it's already getting customers who are ordering it off of Amazon's marketplace. So right there, that takes away a lot of different steps for us. We don't have to find a manufacturer because the seller of that business already has a manufacturer. They already have a logistics company, and they've also already done product research. And the best part about it is all that stuff that they did worked in their favor because they have a profitable business that they're now selling. So they are not trading in unknowns. When you buy this business, you're not trading in unknowns. It has actual data. It has reviews that are very hard to get sometimes. And it already has a customer base where you work from. You can already do things like inventory forecasting and tweaking the business, all sorts of cool things. So when you buy an Amazon FBA business, you are no longer trading in the unknowns. You are trading in knowns. And that's a very different ballpark. The best thing about buying an Amazon FBA business, in addition to everything I just said about getting rid of those initial problems, is you get to fast forward your timeline significantly. You know that old saying, money now is better than money later, right? That's a common adage in business and personal finance, and there's a lot of truth to that. So when you go and buy an Amazon FBA business that's already established, you are skipping ahead of the line. Like I mentioned earlier, starting a business from scratch has usually about a 2 to 4 month timeline just to really get things going. If you're buying one, you skip that entire line. You're already 4 months ahead. And in actuality, you're even further ahead. It's not unreasonable to see yourself 15 months to even 30 months ahead of the timeline by just buying an Amazon FBA business. And what do I mean by that? I mean, the business is already scaled up at least a little bit. It's probably getting some inventory breaks because it's ordering more products. It already has reviews. It doesn't need as much PPC to push organic traffic anymore because it probably has some sort of ranking, maybe decent, maybe it could be improved, but has some sort of ranking bringing in organic customers. So you actually skip the timeline by quite a bit, and you get to do a bunch of other cool things. I won't go too deep into it because that's outside of the scope of this video, but because you have bought the business and you already have the data, there's different things you can do that you just simply can't do with a business you start from scratch. One, you can tweak the copywriting, which is the persuasive writing, on the actual Amazon product listing. You can't do that if you're starting from scratch. Now, you could do that, but you have no data to say which way was better, right? You have nothing to compare it against. You don't have a baseline of customer acquisition or anything like that. When you purchase a business, you do have that. So you get to do those kind of tweaks. You could simply just increase the price of the product to see if the market will still buy it at that price. You can change headlines, you can upgrade the images to a higher quality photos. There's all sorts of different stuff you can tweak on here that you just couldn't do when you're starting from scratch. So, and that includes even in your supply chain. You can look at the package sizing of the business you bought, the package that the product actually comes in, and you can find ways to make that package become smaller, which might save you 20 to 30 cents per unit. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, when you're selling hundreds, maybe even thousands of units a month, that is a lot. That adds up very quickly at scale, and it will increase your margin by quite a sizable margin, and all you had to do was tweak the size of your package. So those are just some of the benefits of buying an Amazon FBA business that really puts the cards in your favor, because most people that will start a business, and this is, again, any business, they're going to fail. There's going to be a lot of failure. I think the failure rate is like over 90% of most people who start a business end up not having that business in 1 to 5 years for them, right? So there's a lot of failure in there. And when you buy a business that is already proven to work, that is putting the cards in your favor. Now you have a much higher percentage of chance of succeeding with that business because you're already starting on a good foundation. So let's go into the next section of this video where I talk about who this is right for. Because buying an Amazon FBA business, while all the stuff I just said sounds really cool, is not for everyone. So we got to first look at who you are and what kind of criteria you need to meet before you go and start looking at this asset class. All right, so let's look at the criteria, what I like to call the discovery criteria when it comes to digital assets. Now, there's some people that should just go start a business. If you have more time than money, then it's probably best for you to start something from scratch because you're going to be able to bootstrap it and it's just going to take less capital for you to do it. If you have more money than time, then buying a business already making money makes a lot more sense. But there's still the criteria you need to consider. And there's 4 parts when it comes to considering buying an FBA business. There's lifestyle goals, business goals, what's your budget, and what's your skill set. Those 4 things create the 4 pillars of your personal buying criteria. So let's go through each one real quick here. So the first one is lifestyle goals. So what do I mean by this? I mean, what do you really want? Yes, everyone wants to make more money. They want to drive fancy cars or go on vacations to, wherever, cross things off their bucket list, right? That's true for everyone. But I'm asking you, what do you really want? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want to become a digital nomad? Do you want to quit your job? Maybe you want to build a crazy portfolio. What does your life look like when it becomes successful? By knowing that allows you to think, okay, should I buy a business where I'm working 20 hours a week or one that I'm working 4 hours a week? Which one appeals to me more and why? What am I going to do with that extra time? So those are your personal goals. The next thing is your business goals. Maybe you want to have a portfolio that's fairly hands-off, but is well diversified, a lot of different products, all that kind of stuff, right? And if that's the case, that's going to color what kind of FBA business you want to buy. Maybe you have a business goal of fixing up a business and then selling it for a higher price. So now one of your goals is to go and find businesses that are actually kind of damaged, kind of wounded. There's something wrong with them. You want to go and fix them, right? So that is some of the business goals you might have. And then there is your skills. What kind of skills are you bringing to the table right now? Now, if you're brand new to digital marketing, online business, that doesn't mean you don't have good skills that translate over to this industry. There's a lot of people out there that do things in their day job that they would never consider applies to running an Amazon FBA business, but it's not true. A lot of that does actually translate. I'll give you an example. So say you're working your 9 to 5, you're a middle management in a corporation, and you understand how managing people works, how to delegate, how project management works. That is a very, very useful skill. In fact, I would say that is one of the most powerful skills you can have when it comes to online entrepreneurship is knowing how to delegate, knowing how to do good project management, and making sure your team is on task to complete their projects. A lot of online entrepreneurs are very, very successful who are just not that good at that. So if that's you, you're already at an advantage. A lot of the other stuff can be picked up along the way. Maybe you understand supply chain. And while that never came to your mind as knowing supply chain would help you with an online business, it actually does, because such a big portion of Amazon FBA is actually wrapped up into the concepts of supply chain and distribution, right? So that will translate over. Now, maybe you do actually know quite a bit about online marketing and entrepreneurship, so that all just adds to your advantage in terms of your skill set. Maybe you understand pay-per-click marketing, organic marketing, and all these good things that is going to help translate into your business. But either way, you should be writing down your business, lifestyle, and the current skills you have on your goal sheet, on your criteria sheet. The last of the criteria is your budget. And this is kind of a hard criteria because everyone has more or less a ceiling of what they can spend when it comes to acquiring an online business. If you only have $100,000, you're probably not going to be able to go buy a $3 million FBA business, right? So you have to be honest with yourself. What are you willing to spend? And not only that, but what are you willing to lose? Because I don't want to be up here selling you an Amazon FBA business where you think that there is no way that this could ever fail, right? It can. You could lose everything. So you have to be okay with the risk and have the proper tolerance. Now, if you have $100,000 to invest and you lose that $100,000, your reaction should be, that sucks. I really wish that didn't happen, but I'm going to be okay. That $100,000 should never be your emergency money, should never be your kid's college fund, should definitely not be some kind of weird Hail Mary to try to get to financial freedom and quit your job. If you're okay with losing the money you can spend to buy a business, then you're in good place. That's where your budget should at least begin. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is splitting your budget into thirds. If you have never looked at buying a digital asset, an online business, or anything like that before, this is very useful advice because there's a lot to know. There's a lot to make mistakes with. And obviously we help you if you need help. We're more than happy to do that. It's what we do every day. But we want to make sure we're using the budget as best as we can. So let's go back to the $150,000 budget as an example. If you have $150,000 to spend on an Amazon FBA business, let's split that into thirds. So 50K pools, three $50,000 pools. Now you can only buy an FBA business at the max that is worth 50K. So the reason why you do this is if you are brand new to digital assets and you're still trying to figure out what's going on, this allows you to stay in the game longer. You spend that $50,000 on your first FBA business, you get everything up and running, and maybe 2-6 months in of running that business, you realize, oh, I made a big mistake on this one. Or maybe it just completely fails because you didn't see something in the due diligence process. Mistakes were made, all that kind of stuff. And if that happens, that's okay because you still have $100,000 left to spend on other businesses. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen, but we want to prepare for the worst and be conservative. That first business, maybe it just takes off like gangbusters. We've seen it happen before, but just always think conservative and it's going to treat you well. So that second purchase, that second 50K pool, when you go and buy that business, since you already know so much more now, you're going to make way less mistakes and you're going to be just, a lot more savvy investor. And by the time you get to the third one, that last pool of 50K, you probably know the ropes pretty well at this point. This is probably a year into your investing journey, maybe shorter, maybe a little bit longer, but around that area is where we usually see. And now you're making all the right decisions. You're asking the right questions that are related to your business goals, your lifestyle goals, and your current skill sets. You understand how to read the profit and loss statement now. You understand how to work with suppliers and manufacturers, and all the intricacies and nuances of Amazon are just a lot more clear to you. So that is why we recommend splitting your budget into thirds. So those are the 4 criteria. Again, your business goals, lifestyle goals, your current skill sets that you can apply to the business, and what is your budget, split into thirds. So write all those down on a piece of paper, and let's get into the next section of the video. All right, so I'm going to go into the bonus now, how you can actually go and find these businesses, because it can be difficult to find where to even start. Like if this sounds interesting to you, where you can go and acquire a digital asset that is making money from day one, you might be wondering, wow, this sounds great, Greg. Well, how do I do it? Well, we're going to dive into my computer behind me. We're going to do this amazing transition where my voice is probably going to change because now I'm going to be recording on the computer. And I'm going to show you how you can go and find a ton of these digital assets for sale in pretty much any budget range you can think of, as well as a bunch of different ways you can speed up your process so it meets your criteria, your big 4 criteria, as well as some of the other nuances of your criteria. So let's hop into the computer and I'll show you how to find FBA businesses for sale. All right, so now we're on the actual Empire Flippers marketplace, and this is how you're going to be able to find Amazon FBA businesses for sale very, very quickly. So I'm going to just cover this really quick and show you how you can go and find a business that's for sale that can help you make money today that matches your big criteria list that we were talking about before I got onto my computer. So when you arrive on our website, this is the marketplace. What you're going to want to do is click the got an account on the login/register, because I'm assuming you don't have an account. It's totally free to set one of these up. You can, of course, just browse the marketplace, the public facing one. But to do what I'm about to tell you to do, you're going to need a free account. So once you register on there, I'm not going to do it because I'm already registered. You're going to get greeted with this. So this is the inside of the marketplace right here. So you're going to be able to see all the different businesses for sale. Now, up here, you can see how many we have. We have 110 listings, and it is showing 50 right now. Now, if you're doing due diligence, 110 different businesses to look at, that is a lot of work. So we've put in some time and effort here to make this whole process very, very simple for you. So what you're going to want to do is click this funnel icon, and it is going to open up a bunch of different filter options. This is how you're going to be able to find a bunch of profitable FBA deals that match what you're looking for. So the very first thing we want to do is click on monetization, click on Amazon FBA, and now it's going to filter through all that list of 100 plus businesses to give us 44 businesses. Now that is far more reasonable. We've halved the list. Now we're focusing just on the monetization we want to see.
which is Amazon FBA. I'm going to collapse this. And now let's say my budget was $200,000. So I want to only look at businesses between $50,000 and $200,000. There we go. And that took the 40 or so businesses down to 17. Again, a lot easier to go through 17 than 40 plus. And the next thing I want to look at is I want to be able to hear who the seller is. Like, am I going to like this person? Because I'm giving this person money, and I'm probably going to be working with them after I acquire the business, at least a little bit in the hands off. So I want to see, okay, is there anything I can learn about the seller before I really spend too much time diving deep onto the business? So you just go to seller interview, click yes, and it's going to filter this list again for you. What a seller interview is where we actually interview the person selling the business. They're usually between 15 to 30 minutes long, and is a good way for you to find out, hey, I like this guy or girl. I feel like I can work with them. They sound interesting. They sound authentic. Okay, I'm going to dive deeper into their business, right? So when we do that, that takes away 7 businesses. So we are left with 10 businesses that have seller interviews. The next thing we might want to look at is, does it have a trademark? We can click yes or no. We could do all sorts of other things in here. We can do, what country is it in? When was the business created? What was the monthly net profit? Or maybe we have a certain niche in mind that we want. We want to find something that is just in the home niche, right? So we want to find everything related to home in here. And we can go through here and click as many of them as we want to our heart's content. And that is how you find a business real quick. When you do get this list of, say, 10 listings filtered down or whatever it is based off of your criteria, all you have to do next is click view listing, and it's going to open up a bunch more information for you to look at. So you can look at this whole thing. You can listen to the seller interview right here. You can read the listing summary to get a good feel for what the business is. And you can look at all the earnings and the site traffic, all that good stuff here. And of course, if you want more information on what to do next, you can always schedule a time with the seller, or if you have seen enough, you can just click buy now and you will be able to purchase this business. So there you go. That's exactly how you find Amazon FBA businesses for sale very, very quickly. That took me all of about less than 10 minutes, and it probably would have been a lot faster if I wasn't explaining what I was doing. So there you go. Let's hop out of this bonus tip and back into the main video. See you on the other side.
We're back. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it taught you a lot about how you can go and buy an FBA business and how you can go find an FBA business as well, and really change your mindset on it when it comes to whether you should start one or buy one. Personally, I think buying is the fastest way. And if you want to really make money on day one, the only way I could see someone doing it is buying one that is already making money, because it's already skipped all the waiting time. So if that's you, if you're in that camp, if you want to go fast, then buy an FBA business is for sure the right move. Now, again, not knocking starting a business, starting an FBA business from scratch, that is totally a legitimate move as well. Just realize it's probably going to be a lot harder than you expected, and there's going to be more roadblocks and a longer timeline till you get to your first day of profit. All right, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and subscribe on the, wherever it is on YouTube. It's my first video. I'll learn how to point to it later. So go ahead, subscribe to this video, hit like if you liked it. And I would love to hear, what is your favorite tip from this video on buying an Amazon FBA business in the comments below, or feel free to ask any questions you like, and we'll go ahead and answer them in the comment section below. And before you go, one last tip or freebie guide or whatever. If you want to know more about buying an Amazon FBA business, you can go down into the description of this video, and there is a link that will allow you to download our free ebook on your first Amazon FBA acquisition. It breaks down everything I just talked about here, just a lot more in depth. I gave this as a speech in Bangkok last year in front of about 500 different entrepreneurs, and it went over quite well. I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes. So now I'd like to give it to you free of charge. You don't have to pay anything for it. It's totally free. Just enter in your email when you click that link, and we'll send the guide over to you. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.